Welcome to this episode of Building an Internet Business in 30 Days. I'm your host, Melody Toon, and I'm a digital marketing strategist with over 17 years experience working in corporate as a digital marketer. I've worked with Fortune 100 and 500 clients, and I've owned over 100 websites. So I'm here to share my knowledge and help you develop innovative digital marketing programs that help you build your blogging business. All you need is focus, a desire to learn, and patience. Let me take a little drink here. I am also a certified Ziglar Legacy Coach, and I will inspire and motivate you to live your best life. It's all about balance, and it's important to create a flow in your life that connects you socially and spiritually to have a happy and healthy life. So please connect with me on Twitter at MelodyTune, MELODYTUNE, and go to my website, DesignWorks. That's spelled DESIGNWRX.com to sign up for a free consultation with me. So the truth is that anyone can develop a digital marketing strategy and achieve the results beyond expectations. You just need the right strategy and tools with the ability to learn how to use them. The cost can be very inexpensive by using organic methods to develop your strategy. And that's what I'm here to help you do through my radio show and also on my website, designworks.com. I have plenty of articles on there and tips, and including the tips and strategies that will help you understand the importance of blogging to build your business and how to build a 30-day calendar to get your blog up and running. So you're going to want to take notes, and you can always play this recording on demand 24/7 to replay it if you need a little help in remembering what we talked about, or if you just want to replay it again to refresh your memory. I have a little quote that goes like this: if you don't know where you are going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. That quote is by the famous Zig Ziglar, who I attended his course on to be certified as a Ziglar Legacy Coach. And if you don't know who Zig Ziglar is, please look him up on the internet. I'll have a few more quotes by him throughout the show, but he was just an amazing personality and salesperson that was very successful in becoming a personality and motivational speaker. So we're going to talk about building an internet business. So I'm sure that most of you that have tuned into this show has an interest in starting their own business. Maybe just a little curiosity right now, or maybe something that you've put some thought into and said, this is something I really want to do. So we're going to talk about how you can do that in 30 days or less. How motivated are you? Are you working a full-time job right now? If you are, you can still do this on the side, and it really is fairly simple. I say that because I've built 100 of them at one time through an automated system, and that's the key, is finding the tools, the automated tools online that can help you cut down on time and creating a program, doing social media and connecting to audiences and engaging with audiences to drive them to your blog. So what type of blog do you build? Well, for some of you, this is going to be a no-brainer because you already have a passion for something that you can talk about 24/7. But can you write about it? For those of you, this would be something that you're passionate about, but could you write about it? Then there are some that have another strategy that need help in your business, for example. For example, let's say you sold real estate and you want to attract an audience through social media as a strategy. Well, here's an idea, something you could do besides just talking about selling homes. I have a home for sale. You could actually talk about home improvements. What about fixer-uppers? Do you have any of those that you're trying to sell? Well, this is a strategy where you can speak to an audience that may want to buy a new house but never thought about a fixer-upper. So here's your opportunity to tell them how inexpensive it is to buy a home and fix it up. So you may want to talk, you could write all kinds of different blog articles. You may want to talk about creative ways to finance to include the improvements. I'm sure that many newbies don't understand all the options available, so you create a blog with case studies and show the before and after images to help people visualize their dreams. Or what about a before and after video? That's pretty powerful. And this is where you get creative with your business and you ask the question, what do you sell most and how can I improve those sales? Then you develop a plan and you set goals to build the blog around a strategy which will lead to your website, to the website that sells the homes. So, what you want to sell in this case is a lifestyle. Let's call it a lifestyle. We're not really selling homes. We're selling a lifestyle, an idea of speaking to a group of people that aren't afraid to get their hands dirty and build their dream home instead of paying to have it done. If you think about it, you'll be able to come up with several groups that you can then tag with keywords in your blog. Keyword that would be good would be maybe first-time home buyer, first-time home owner. And the great thing about today's WordPress blogs is that you have all these tools built in to the blog, to the platform, to develop a very intuitive blog to help you drive sales to your website. So that's just one example I can give you. I could give you hundreds of them. Like I said, I had 100 websites, 100 different websites with different ideas that were focused and targeted to different groups that sold affiliate marketing, which was Amazon.com. I sold items from Amazon and would take commissions off of those. I got pay-per-clicks for keywords that would push to other websites. So I listed other websites on my some of these websites that had keywords, and when someone would click on that website with that keyword that was entered in there, then I would collect literally pennies. So you have to, that's why I had 100 websites. In that situation, you have to build a lot of different websites. And then I decided to follow my passion, which is really what I want to speak to a lot of people about, is really focusing on your passion. And that's when you become successful. Those were really a test for me. It was something I did because I bought into this system, because I was a digital marketer and understood it. And I didn't really make any money on it, but I only did it for a year. And then I said, you know what, I've learned a lot from this, and I want to share this information. I want to help you to not make those mistakes. So my key suggestion is to be passionate about what you're doing. It's not about the money, because the money will come. It's really about being passionate about it and building on that and really enjoying what you do and enjoying life. It's more than just work. It's really about balancing your life. And that's what I've really learned from the great Zig Ziglar. It's really about, enjoying your best life. You only get one life. You only get one shot at it. So I'm really trying to help people who really want this lifestyle of being self-employed. I worked for corporate for 17 years, and I enjoyed it. But what I really realized is after I got out of it and started my own business, how much I really liked not working for corporate. Sometimes you don't get to see the whole picture when you're in it. But I did like the socializing, meaning the being able to share ideas and get creative with other people, like-minded people that you worked with. I still do that though because I have such a large network. I still can do that. So don't think once you start working for yourself that ends. It's just that you have to initiate it and really drive that force to, develop that and create it and really want it, which I do. So the most time you're going to spend building a blog will be in the first 3 months. So what I try to do is be really transparent with people and letting them know the first 3 months are the hardest, and then after that it gets a lot easier. First of all, you're understanding the platform, you've learned the platform, and you kind of create a process for yourself. And we're going to talk a little bit about those processes to make it easier for you as well. It's about creating the structure of the blog itself that takes time. So once you get it built, it's built. And then learning it and understanding. There's plenty of tutorials for you on the WordPress platform that has just thousands and thousands and thousands of video tips and tricks that will help you. And then it's creating the content. So once you get a decent amount of content built up, what you'll find is that you can repurpose your content. So you're not always having to create new and fresh content. So you want to keep in mind when you're creating your content not to date your content, because I will repurpose this. I may use it a year down the road because the information is still good. But by using dates and timelines and certain subject matter could go outdated, but you'll have a lot of content that you can reuse over and over again and push out over and over again. So keep that in mind when you're building your content. Building social media accounts and campaigns, that's another time-consuming strategy and process which you need to do. You may already have some social media accounts set up. You really want to focus on business social media accounts. So you might not want to use your personal social media accounts. Maybe you do. I know I do, because my business is part of who I am. So I feel free to share that with my friends on Facebook. If they're interested, they're interested. If they're not, they're not. But I have a very large following, so I use that as well. But I also use business social media accounts. So you want to keep that in mind. And then I have many tips on my website that give more details to these steps we're going to go through. This is going to be kind of like a quick overview of what you need to do so you understand it. And then if you need more details, if you need to dig in a little bit deeper, go to my website and be sure to review and visit it frequently, and it will make your life so much easier. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to sign up for the Essential Blogging Tools. It's free. It's on my website. It has over 50 tips and tools to help get you started. So go to DESIGNWRX.com, designworks.com. Click on the Blogging Tips and Tools tab, and that will take you, and all you need to do is put in your name, your email address, and I will send that to you in an email to download. So here's another really great quote by the great Zig Ziglar, and it goes like this: "Good things come to those who believe." better things come to those who are patient. And best things come to those who don't give up. So don't give up. Keep going. If this is something that you think you're going to be passionate about, then you can do this. It may require you to build up a little bit of a learning skill at some of these things we're going to talk about. Writing is one of them. And I'm going to talk about that and tell you how easy it is for you to attain that knowledge. So you don't need to be a professional writer to get readers to your blog, but you must create a sensible outline in your writing that others can follow and they will enjoy. So you may want to take a creative writing class. There are many community colleges that have classes that you could take for one semester while you build your blog. And there are plenty of online classes too. There are also books out there that you could read that could help you in your writing skills. What I did before I started in marketing is I took a semester of even though I had my degree, I went back and took a community college creative writing class just to freshen up and just to really instill that a little bit better. But nowhere do I consider myself a writer. I've worked with some fabulous writers, copywriters, and they do it all the time. It's just natural for them to write. It's not natural for me to write because I didn't do a whole lot of it before I started my blog. I used to write copy for ads, which is different than writing a blog. It's kind of like you're telling a story. So what I did is I bought a small punctuation and grammar book. It's actually the one I have is called Write, R-W-R-I-T-E, Write, R-I-G-H-T, Write. It's telling you to write the right way. And it's been a lifesaver for many years, including when I worked in corporate. I had this book. I think it's like probably copywritten 1994. That's how long I've had this book. And it's got cup stains on it and whatever else on it that I've eaten over. But I use that to help me to make sure that I'm writing correctly. Nobody is going to criticize you if you don't, if your grammar may be a little off or if you may write a little awkward here and there. You want to make sure your personality comes out in it. So sometimes it doesn't, it's not proper writing, but it needs to be understood. And you need to run it through, a spell checker to make sure you're spelling things correctly, because sometimes that can be a turnoff to people. That's not always a turnoff to me, because as many years as I've been in this business, I've made enough mistakes and seen plenty of. I love it when like the famous magazines make a mistake. I just get such a kick out of it when I'm reading People or something, and there's a typo or there's a word missing, like the. That word seems to get missed a lot. And, we're creatures of habit to where we read when we write. We skip words because we just automatically read them. You've seen the little tricks on social media where they'll write, all these broken words, but when you read it, you can read a whole sentence. And that's because your mind is kind of like a canvas. And words are like art, and we read them that way. Like we just automatically read the words even though they're not there. So you need to start writing. So you don't need to worry about the strategy yet behind the writing or what came first, the chicken or the egg when you're writing. Like whatever your subject is, don't worry what came first, what you should write second. Just start writing, because articles can be archived until they're ready to launch them. So I know when I first started my blog, I probably had about 5 articles. And the for two of them, I pushed aside because it just wasn't timing to just launch with those from the very beginning. But they were just things that I wanted to write about, so I always had them in my archive. Always keep that in mind. You're not wasting your time when you can archive something and use it later. So that's a good strategy. So the idea is to get used to writing down your thoughts and find someone who can be critical to read it and give you the feedback that you need. Create a process when you write, such as you're going to write it, you're going to read it, you're going to revise it, then you're going to run through spell check. Microsoft Word has a spelling and grammar checker. WordPress does have a spell checker, but not a grammar checker. And then you need to have someone read it and say what they liked and what they didn't like. If it was hard to read, this is where you may want to consider doing some online classes or a community college course to help you write. Or maybe you just need some more practice. So don't give into it right away. It's just like anything else you've learned. You know, practice makes perfect. So think about the most important part of your blog, which is your headline. So that's where you want to start. And you could actually come up with the headline later, but just the topic. And then, because the headline is going to be what drives your audience to read the article. It could be a question or that needs to be answered, or it could be something very comical that makes the viewer want more. It's all about the wanting more. So if the headline does not attract a lot of readers, then you can change it. Remember I told you you can repurpose it. You can change that headline later if it didn't work really well the first time you sent it out. Resend it to your social media with a new headline and add that into your WordPress blog. And that will tell you how many people view, because you have reporting in your WordPress platform that tells you how many people have viewed the page, determine what's working and what's not. And then you want to add an introduction. So then you want to create this outline for your writing, which would be headline, well, actually it'd be topic, then headline, then introduction. You add a paragraph for an introduction, and then 3 main bullet points, a conclusion, and a call to action, which is go to my website. Or in your blog, it would be go to this page and sign up for this, or go here and buy my house, or, you know, if you're real estate, or go to this page on my Etsy page where I'm selling these awesome crafts or whatever. Always have a call to action. It could be just email me. That's a call to action. Anyways, you take this, you use this outline over and over again, and it starts to make the writing easier. It gets simpler. So we have a saying in marketing, and it's called an acronym in marketing called KISS, K-I-S-S, and it means keep it simple, stupid. I never really used that in corporate because I probably would have got fired for saying that, but that was something that we learned when I went to school. In my design classes, we would say, keep it simple. So later in your blog, you can also start to add video and podcasts. But for now, we're just talking about the first 30 days, and we've covered writing. Now, we're ready to take a little break. I want to take a break here, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you what to do in week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. And so make sure you have a pad and a pencil or pen so you can write these down, because I will tell you exactly the steps you need to go through. Welcome back. You're listening to How to Build an Internet Business in 30 Days. I'm your host, Melody Toon, and I am a digital marketer for strategist with over 17 years experience working in corporate as a digital marketer. I'm also a certified Ziglar Legacy coach, and I can help you one-on-one to help you develop balance in your life, motivate you to help you build your business. So please connect with me on Twitter at MelodyToon and go to my website, designworks.com, which is DESIGNWRX.com, and sign up for a free consultation. For those of you who are just breaking away from the corporate structure and starting your own business, it's important to create a plan and structure to manage your time and balance life harmoniously, and I can help you do that. So we talked about writing a blog, how to write with some creative ideas and creating a strategy around your business. Maybe you're trying to increase your sales. You don't want to start your own business, but you want to increase sales. A blog is definitely the way to do that. We talked a little bit about that. And then we also talked about creating some processes and strategies around writing. Writing is probably the biggest part of your blog. It is probably the hardest part of your blog because you have to commit to that and you have to really focus on the writing. And I think most professional writers will tell you sometimes that can be really difficult. But as I was suggesting, keep it simple. And by doing that, you can create an outline around it by creating your subject, then your headline, write an introduction, 3 main bullet points, a conclusion, and a call to action. There's your outline. Just use that every time. That'll make it easier. You can expound on that. You can, change that outline up as time goes on, but that's how you get started. So let's start with week 1. What do you need to do? All right. Well, first of all, you need to write 2 blog articles. Come up with 2 topics. Decide on a name for your blog. Okay, you don't have the blog yet, but you're writing. Yes, you're going to need to put those blog articles on your blog. You want to do that before you purchase the blog. So you need to decide on a name for your blog. Are you a coach? Then your name is important. My name just happened to not be available, and they want a lot of money. Actually, my name is available, but somebody has bought it and is selling it, and it's very expensive. I highly recommend, if you are a coach, to buy your name, whatever that is, to buy your first and last name. So if your name is Susan Smith, buy the URL susansmith.com or .net. There's so many of them out there today. With the different extensions, .com, .net, .co. I think they even have .coach. Maybe that's a strategy that might work for you. Just research that and remember that your name would be important unless what you want to sell your business at some point. If you're going to start a coaching business that you think you're going to sell someday, which is a very good strategy, then you're going to want a catchy name for your site. What I would do is buy a catchy name site and your name URL and redirect your name to the name of the site that you want to sell. At the same time, you should think about an LLC, a business license, which stands for Limited Liability Corporation. You need to talk to a tax advisor to help you decide to do that. And then you need to buy the Internet Domain Registrar. When I say that, don't do it until you're ready to buy it, because I can tell you there has been, and I know it's happened to me, I've gone looking for URLs, and there's some type of some scanner out there that scans what you're searching for in those websites, and they will buy your URL, and then they will try to sell it to you for a higher price because they know you're looking for it. I don't know exactly how that technically works, but I know it has happened to me before where I've gone to buy a URL, search for URL names, and then when I went back to buy one of them, almost all of them were bought up. So just you want to make sure you don't do that until you're ready to purchase your URL name. If your name is taken but it's available, you might want to purchase it. If it's really important to you and it's not really expensive, I can tell you they can go anywhere from a couple $100s to mine was like $7,000 to purchase it, or buy an existing name that has more power in it for SEO because it's more established. The established URLs work better with search engine optimization. Just a strategy, you need to research that. Research who if you decide to buy a used URL, one that's already been taken but they're selling it, you want to research the name, see who owned it, and you can do that at whois.net. I'll have that link on my website once I get this podcast posted. There's another one you can look at. It's called Wayback Machine. It's a site with archived web addresses to view what the site may have looked like in the past. And I will also have a link to that on my website once I get this blog post posted. Okay, so that's week 1. Then, week 2, you're going to create your social media accounts. You're going to decide which ones you want. These are what I suggest. You either create a Facebook group. Facebook is very important. It's probably where I get most of my traffic from is Facebook. Facebook, either create a Facebook group related to your topic or create a Facebook business page, which will be linked to your personal account, but it's a business page and it acts differently. You can research that all on Facebook. They have plenty of information on that. Both of those are free. Then you should sign up for Twitter account. I suggest more than one. And all you need is an email address for each one that's attached to that Twitter account. So you're going to have more than one email address if you have more than one Twitter account. I recommend a Pinterest account, especially if you have really good photos. Pinterest is a good account to have. And then the other really important one, I think, is Google+. I get a lot of traffic from Google+, even though I don't really, I post a lot of things on Google+, but I don't socially interact in it much. But I get a lot of traffic from Google+, so it's one I highly suggest. If you want to hit the ground running and cut down time on your social media, you're going to want to sign up for what they call a Buffer account. There's also one called Hootsuite. I use Buffer, B-U-F-F-E-R account to manage your social media accounts, schedule posts. It's kind of like a set it and forget it. You set it one day and it'll run out however many posts you put out. I want to post 3 posts a day to Facebook. You schedule them, you put what you want up there, and it sends 3 posts that day. And then it'll send 3 posts the next day, and so on and so forth. So that is week 2. So we've covered week 1, and we covered week 2. So now we're going to go into what you do on week 3. This is where you're going to build your blog. So once you purchase your blog name, you're going to sign up with a WordPress web host. It must be WordPress. That's what I recommend. That's what I talk about on my blog that will help you make things easier for you. And there is a web host by the name of Bluehost, B-L-U-E-H-O-S-T. I'm pretty sure you can get your URL from them as well. You won't be buying it from them, but they integrate with another site that will do that. So I think you can do it all in one step. I bought my URL many, many years ago, so I didn't have to do that with Bluehost. But if you sign up with Bluehost, it is one of the best and largest WordPress hosts on the internet. I have a link in the Essential Blogging Tools that you should have a free copy of by now, and if not, you need to go get a free copy of it. So go to my website, designworks.com, DESIGNWRX.com, and you're going to click on the tab that says Blogging Tips and Tools at the top, and that will take you to the page to sign up for the Essential Blogging Tools. They're free, and there's over 50 tips and tools to be able to get your blog on. So once you have your WordPress site, you can now choose what they call a template, and they have hundreds and hundreds of templates, and you're going to go crazy. Sometimes there's just too many choices in the world, and this is one where there is too many choices. There's many templates to choose from, but here's the thing. Pick one. You can change it later. It's very easy to change them as long as you don't have any custom work done, which I'm sure you're not going to do unless you hire someone to do custom work for you, which you can do later on down the road. As your business grows, you're going to find that you can do all kinds of things with this WordPress site. It's a professional web content management, and you can grow your business unlimited with this content manager. That's why I highly recommend it, because you can start out very, very small and you can really, really grow it. So there are plenty to choose from, but be sure that the template is called a responsive template. And you can actually do a search for responsive, and it will pull up all the responsive templates that they have to offer, because this is an optimized template for all the devices. So it resizes everything when somebody pulls up your site on a mobile phone or a tablet or whatever. That template is going to work on all those sites. So that's really, really important. You need to write that down. So then after you do that, there's a ton of video tutorials that will be on your WordPress dashboard once you get it up to help you learn more about the platform. I highly recommend that you look at a few of those. It can be really overwhelming, but just start out slow and take it gradually, because there are lots of plugins and additions that you can bring into your blog. You're not going to want to do this in the beginning, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But there are 3 plugins that you should download into your site. You're going to want to write these down. One is called Akismet, A-K-I-S-M-E-T, Akismet. And this will protect your blog from spam in your comments. It's really important. You don't want a bunch of spam in your comments, because when that starts happening, that's a lot of work to manage. And this plugin does it for you. The other plugin is called Jetpack. This has a ton of powerful features. Jetpack, Jetpack. Some of these you'll use. It has a lot of features, and some of them you'll use, others you won't need, but it's one of the best, and it's an all-inclusive plug-in tool. It includes social media buttons to add into your site, along with a lot other must-haves. So that's the second one. The third one is a plugin called Yoast SEO. So that just type in the search, you click on the plugin on your dashboard, and then there's a search bar, and you say, type in YOAST. This is a SEO, search engine optimization plugin, that will help you write your articles, and it tells you what you've done wrong in the article and what you can do to improve for the search engines to find your articles. And it also has a tool in there that will help you analyze your site and track your progress. So those are the three that I recommend that are really important. The last thing you're going to need to do in week 3 is you're going to need to sign up for a Google Analytics account. And I mentioned that the Yoast SEO plugin has an analytic tool that plugs in, but Google Analytics is really the best. And even though this may not be something that you're going to use right offhand, it's free and it will help you grow in your business. So trust me, this may not seem important in the beginning, but if you're planning on growing, and sometimes you can grow without even planning on it, you'll want to have this tool integrated. So sign up for a Google Analytics account, and you just type that in the Google search, and that will come up. All right, we have got week 3 done. We're down to week 4. Here we go. So you're almost there. You have your URL. Your site is up and running. Now you need to incorporate a few strategies to start building your audience, to direct them back to your blog. Plus, let's talk about a process to keep the content flowing into your site so it stays fresh and keeps the attention of the search engines to push an audience back to your site. So number 1, you're going to submit your site to Google, Bing, and Yahoo. And all you have to do in the Google search is type in Google submission, and it will come up. Then you need to do another one for Bing submission. You could even do Bing URL submission and Yahoo URL submission. You're going to submit because over time the search engines will find you, but it's really best to take your URL and submit them from once you get your site up. So I'll have those addresses up on my website as well to help you. So what you'll need to do when you submit this URL is you're going to submit your meta tag, which describes your site with keywords. For example, so we used the example earlier about real estate. So if you are selling real estate in the San Diego area, you are going to want to use in your description San Diego real estate. If you're in a specific area, you want to make sure that you use the area in your description, in your keywords. Those are called keywords. Those are what people search for because people are going to search for San Diego real estate. So you want to make sure those are in your meta tags. I think that clarifies, that helps make sense. Whatever your subject is, it needs to be included in your meta tags. That's the description is what your meta tags are. It's what nobody else sees, but it's behind the scenes. And when you submit to the URLs, they have that listed that way. Very, very important. So then after you submit your URL site, you're going to create 2 more articles. Remember, we talked about the first week, you're going to create 2 articles. But you're also, now that you've got those articles done, you're going to start in week 4 working on 2 more articles at the same time so that your blog, and you want to also search for images that you're going to add into the blog. Images are very important. If you need help putting together images, review my blog post titled How to Find Professional Images to Use in Your Blog, because they're very important, and this article will tell you everything you need to know to incorporate beautiful professional images into your blog. So then you want to promote your blog posts in your social media accounts. Remember, we set up your social media accounts. Now is the time to start promoting your blog posts, because remember, you've already written 2 blog posts, so you should put those up at this time. Week 4, you put up the 2 blog posts. At the same time, that week you're writing 2 more blog posts, because those are going to go up the following week. You could just do 1 blog post at a time. That's all right too. You have to decide what works for you. But just remember, you're ahead of the game. when you're doing two at every week. If you're writing 2 blog posts every week, you're way ahead of the game and you won't lag behind. For example, I just came back from vacation. I really fell behind on my blog posts because I didn't follow my rules of writing, way in advance. I wrote some in advance, but I still lagged a little bit. So just keep that in mind when you go on vacation. You can automate those to be schedule them on the WordPress blog when you want those published. You can have blog posts published while you're on vacation. That's how great this WordPress platform is. So you're going to promote your blog posts in your social media accounts, and be sure to follow only the legitimate accounts that follow you, and try to thank those who follow you, and that's somewhat you're engaging with your audience. If you're a local business, you can set up your Twitter accounts to post only in a geographic area. So keep that in mind too with Twitter. You should be spending at least an hour or more a day on your social media accounts to build them up with your followers by posting pictures and interesting related articles to your subject. So you don't have to just promote your blog post. You can promote other articles that you read about on the same subject just to get people interested in what you're talking about and wanting to follow you. And then you can do that through the tool I recommended earlier was Buffer. Remember, Buffer will help you automate those social posts and help you save a lot of time. So these are the basics to get you started with your very own specialized blog. Check out my other blog posts to get more details to understand more about search engine optimization, building email lists, social media tips, and more to help you build your business. I'm also working on some training video modules on my website soon to help you build your strategies and your business to take it to the next level. So I'll end with this really great quote by the famous Zig Ziglar, and it goes like this: "Your attitude, not your aptitude, determines your altitude." I want to thank you again for joining me this week. I hope you'll join me next week as we're going to talk about how to get followers to drink the Kool-Aid on your blog. You're going to want to watch this or listen to this as we're going to talk about really creative ideas to get followers to do what you want them to do on your blog, not just to go and read your blog articles, to actually do something with it. I can help you as a Zig Ziglar legacy coach. I've recently added a section on my website also called Meditation Works, spelled WRX at the end of meditation, and this is for working professionals in mind, so to help you focus and stay balanced. If you're just starting a business, I recommend the meditation on my site called New Beginnings Meditation. It's only 5 minutes, and if you do it daily, it will help you get focused. Please connect with me or send me a message at melody@designworks.com if you have any questions. Again, I want to thank you. I'm hoping next week Karen Olinsky will be able to join me. She is a seasoned 20-year veteran marketing executive. She is also a consultant and really adds interesting perspective to these podcasts with her ideas, creative thoughts, and also she started a blog recently that we work together on. So she has a lot of really great perspective on those just starting a blog and how to go about that. So please join me next week, same time on Blog Talk Radio, Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That would be 8 p.m.